um, all the components. We use all the components, and we also build different type of reports. Okay, based on some very basic requirements. Okay, again, when you're building this type of report, you need to be closely working with the customer. Okay, because you don't know what information they need it on their reports. Okay, they will be telling that very clearly, and we have to do it accordingly. And it will take less time to build reports in Salesforce. So if your customer is asking very uh, some reports which are not possible with the standard reports and dashboards, we have to use Apex and VFAs also in building the reports also. Okay, we can show some data by querying some data from the database, and we can show there. Give me a second. Uh, so let's log into our Salesforce system today. Okay. Before starting today's class, okay. Can someone tell me the reports what we have built, the type of reports what we have built in today's class? We worked on 4 type of reports. Okay. So can someone name them? Okay, at least 3.
Are you asking the what reports on customers and database would you do?
Exactly. So there are 4 type of reports, right? So I have shown you some demo on the same, starting with a simple tabular, and there are 3 more, right? So I want the type of reports available in Salesforce. It's a simple question I'm asking.
One is matrix.
Yeah, yeah, that's the third one. First one is tabular. Yeah, I already said that.
One is joint.
Yeah, the last one is
Yeah,
joined
tabular,
reports.
joint, matrix.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's one more, that is summarized report, right? If you want to summarize based on city or state, you generally use that. So in summarization, you can do only vertically, you can summarize. In case of matrix, you can do it both vertically as well as horizontally. You can group the data based on some field, or based on some city, or based on some satisfaction scores, like that. Okay. And I have shared the GTM recordings, so you can see that. So for reference, you can check the date appended next to the class file, because it's a Salesforce demo. It's in Salesforce demo, but it's not the demo. So you can see the date appended next to it. If I'm clicking on this, so see the date is November 1st, 14. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Speak. Can you speak now? Oh, I think it. So yeah, these are GTM recordings. Yeah. In the today's class, we're going to start working on Apex and introduction to the advanced things and when to choose Apex, when to choose the standard workflow rules, all this stuff I can explain you today. Okay. So, uh, so, uh, we're working on a project, a CRM project where they need sales and service applications for their company. Okay. If they are on, okay, from today's class, I'll be using the different organization. Okay, that's enterprise sandbox. What I have, I can even share the login access to you all. Yeah, no problem. Right. So, uh, yeah. So this is some our like which is different organization. So we have logged into different organization. If you want to check about this information, just go to company information. Okay, search for company. It's an administrator. It's a company profile. If you click on this, you can see the organization name and what is the organization ID. For each and every organization, what you are taking from Salesforce, it will be having unique ID. So, so this organization is taken on the behalf of your employees, and this is Enterprise Partner Edition, and this is having different thing. And the specialty of this is it has many licenses. This is the limit of 20 licenses. This 20 Salesforce licenses and 20. Everything is having more licenses when compared to the developer organization where you see only 2 licenses for all this stuff. Okay. So now I can even share. So in the previous classes, I used to share this organization for all the users. They will be collaborating in the same organization with charter. So these are all um, so all these are users. So the people who are active will be seen with this active checkbox means they can use this user license. Okay, with this username they can log in into the system. Pallavi can log in into the system with this username. Okay, so these are all my old participants, last batch. Okay, and you can see all these people here. So I want to create only one user license for you guys because of as other people are using it. I'm using um, so in this organization I have developed a lot of code where you can access all this code. You click on develop, you click on Apex classes. See, there are many Apex classes. Some are repeated because some of my participants are developing the things in the same. If you click on more, you can see more classes also. Okay. Okay. Out of 30 lakhs lines of code, we are currently using 328711 characters of code. Okay, the current organization. So I'm going to share this organization access to all the people, means with only one user license so that everyone can log in with the same license. But the problem here is the security token. So for that, can someone create the group Gmail account so that I can the username and password is available. You can share it to all the people in the training. Okay, so that if someone is logging into this organization, if they got some token, they can use the token by logging into the application. They can access the token by logging into the Gmail app, and they can use this organization also. Can someone create a Gmail account with training.batch1 at gmail.com or something like that? SFDC training.batch1 at gmail.com, so that I can create a username with the same email address here. Let's start with some Apex coding. Okay. First of all, so I was talking about some scenarios, right? So for suppose if you are implementing a Sales Cloud for one of your customer, so by default they use a sales application. You have selected this, okay? And if I'm clicking on, see here in my current system, I renamed account to customers, okay? So this customer is called account object here. If I'm clicking on some customer name, okay? So generally, you are writing validation rules, right, for validating some data on the current record on this stuff. But what if you want to validate the data saved in the existing system, and we have to save the data. For suppose if there are 4 million accounts, 4 million customers in your system, you have entered a different 4 million customers are there. You have entered some account customer name with a different customer website address, okay, and different thing, but these both customers are same, but the stock symbol is same, okay. If you want to validate the existing records in the system, and if you want to save the new record, validation rules will not support that type of complex validations, okay, because you have to search for this account in all 3 million accounts in your system, okay. Yeah. So if when you are trying to save the record, my trigger will check all the data in the existing system and shows information saying that this record is already available in the system, by not only validating one field, by validating multiple fields: customer name, ticker symbol, website, fax, phone number, everything. Okay. With a simple validation rule, I can make, if sticker symbol is duplicate, I don't want to enter the data. That can be done with simple validation rules. But if you want to do some advanced validation rules, you have to use the coding. In this case, you're going to use Apex triggers, okay? So you can develop in multiple ways in Salesforce, right? You can use Apex triggers. This is to do advanced validation rules, advanced automation, okay? All this stuff. And coming down to VF pages, if you want to develop some components in Salesforce system, you can use VF pages. For suppose, if you want to show some map in this account, in this customer detail, based on the address given of the headquarters information here in this page, if you want to show some map here, I can show that with some simple VF page with a standard controller. Give me a second, guys. Yeah. So here you can see this is done by a VF page. I'm inserting the Evernote for business for Salesforce. I'm including this component here in this page. If you want to build this type of components, you have to write coding. You have to write VF pages, Apex classes, and this type of requirements. Okay. So when to choose Apex classes, when to choose triggers. So here you have to first figure out whether the current requirement what is given to you can be done with the standard, means simple validation rules, workflow rules, or workflow rules. With workflow rules, we are doing some actions, right? Field updates, all this stuff. If that can be done with these following things, you can do with that. There's no need to develop any trigger. There's no need to write any some Apex actions, methods, all this stuff. So if you feel that if you cannot do that requirement in that, you have to choose Apex in that cases. Okay. The reason why I'm saying this is, if you are developing the application with validation rules and workflow rules on the automation, if you are building that, this will take very less time, and this generally no need any maintenance and developer time also. So Salesforce will suggest you to develop everything with the button click in a button click way. But if the requirement of the customer, if that cannot be done in that button clicks, you have to choose Apex programming, VF pages, and Apex triggers. Okay. Right. So first of all, I can tell you, because according to the syllabus, we just need to talk about Apex triggers first. But first of all, I would like to introduce about Apex classes. So generally in Salesforce, how to build Apex is something simply after salesforce.com, after hash, okay, simply write Apex. Okay, click on this. Apex has tab panel. It's a VF page. So this is a page developed with VF programming. Okay. So I'm clicking on this. You can develop the code on this later, and the same changes will be reflected very immediately in the top screen. You can adjust this like anything, and after doing some changes here, you can click on save, or even if you can put on Ctrl S also, it will save this data. If you click on this is the same thing. Okay, this is for save, and Ctrl S also works for that. If you're using Mac, it's Command S. Okay, and this is the tabs I have built with simple VF programming. So okay, first of all, okay, I can talk about some syntax about VF pages today. Or else after that, I can tell you after the demo. For suppose, say, congratulations. I've opened that component. I'm clicking on save. Now this will reflect very immediately. See, just clicked on Ctrl S, and see the same message what I'm saying here, it's showing here. Okay, so for inserting the data from the database directly, you are going to use the merge fields. Means you are going to use this type of you're going to use, so for using the username, okay, I'm going to use so for inserting my username, I simply use this following line of code to insert my name and last name. Okay, so this is static message, and here I'm using some tab panel. So these tags, this open tag and end tag, this looks very similar to the HTML programming. Okay, so I can show you all the tags available with VF pages, the today's class, and even I can introduce about Apex also, the today's class. Okay, so here it's really simple to use this programming. Within less time, you can build very good components. See, the label of this tab. This is the tab panel. Inside this tab panel, you can insert the tabs. See, here you have seen the three. Each and every open tag must be end with the close tag also. Some cases you can also see this is the tab open tag. This is the end tag. Okay. Open tag and end tag. Okay. So the content is mentioned here. What all the content what you are writing inside this open an end tag of apex colon tab, it will be displayed here. See, content for tab 1 is here. So this is static content, but you can even display the dynamic content from the Salesforce.com database. So you can access that data with SOQL programming. Okay, what is SOQL? SOQL means Salesforce Object Query Language. So from today you will be completely working on the development items. So if I'm doing something else, it won't do any, because if I'm even putting some spaces and new lines also, it won't reflect here because it won't consider the any spaces and new lines in VF pages. Okay, um, and so unlike in Java, you don't need to do database integrations, all this stuff. You have to link some database, right? jdbc.odbc. You have to build some connections. There's no need to build such connections here. You can simply use this options for getting some variables from Apex or from the database. I can show you. So as this is the global variables, you can directly print these values. But if you want to print the account information, I have to use the standard controller of account, and I can show the information of the account details here. But I will show the examples in the next classes after I first of all explain the core syntax and all the lines of code. Okay, all the syntax and tags available here. Okay, I'm searching for the document. Okay. Give me a second. Yeah. So you can see the VF cheat sheet now. So in this sheet, so all the tags are mentioned here. Oh. So we generally use VF pages. Okay, VF Visualforce programming. Give me a second. Yeah, wait a minute. Okay, so we generally use Visualforce programming for building Salesforce.com components. Sorry, the front-end components, the view components, the MVC architecture, and the Visualforce programming will be part of view. Okay, so this is useful for showing better user interfaces to the custom components. Okay, and for suppose if your customer don't want to use the Salesforce user interface, you can build custom user interface with some your company branding with this programming. Okay, so to get started, so for suppose I'm going back to the previous screen. Here I have opened the existing page, but if I want to create a new page, as I'm clicking on home page. Okay, I'll start from starting. Okay, if I'm clicking on home tab, so when I log in into the system, I'm in this tab. what I will say is I will remove the all the URL after I will after .com hash. I will remove all the other stuff, and I can simply put apex hash cerebral training. Okay, so this is the VF page what I am going to create now. If you want to create these VF pages, you have to append apex, after that hash, the VF page name what you want to build. You just simply give the name and click on enter. What it says is Visualforce error. The page with cerebral training does not exist. Yeah, we know that because this is the first time I'm creating this page. For creating this page, I have to click on this button. So they have given a simple link to automatically create a page from this error message. Okay. I know that there is no page with this name. I still clicked on this to create for getting this option. I'm clicking on this. Now, page is getting created for my cerebral training page. See. Now, by default, this is the tags available in the system. Okay. And here is some message with the H1 tag. You know that H1 tag is for headline, so it automatically shows in dark color. So there are a lot of CSS difference between the H1 tag in this and H1 tag in the plain HTML. Okay. So this is the new page and cerebral training, and this is automatically shows some message. Okay. Welcome to cerebral training. Okay. I'm clicking on save, and you can do the same message here. So this is what I want to show. So when you're creating for the first time, I got the button link, means I got the error message and some link, right? You can see only this link only when you have, when you go to the user profile, I will show that option to you. The end users won't get this type of message to create a new VF page, because as I'm the system admin, as I have permissions to have login with the same user ID. So as I have permission to, if I'm clicking on edit, see, if this checkbox is checked only, you can see that message. You can only develop the code only if this development mode is enabled. Means you can develop the code from the page. This widget also will be only available. The development screen is only available only if this checkbox is checked. Otherwise, see, I'm disabling this and I'm clicking on save. Coming back to this page, I'm clicking on enter. Now you don't see the widget here, the option to modify the code and view the code. You don't see that. This option is only available if you have the development mode enabled for this current user. What happens in the enterprise system? Only the system administrators or the developers who is having access to the means who is having this checkbox checked can only view the code and can only modify the code directly from the pages. The other people, the end users, cannot modify the code. Okay. Go back to the system. Okay. I'm clicking on refresh now. I can see the similar again, the old editor, new editor. Okay. Coming to this, say here what. So for getting started here, they simply said the instance name will change, depends on your organization. So it's NA1 or AP1 or CS1 is for sandboxes. Okay. After Salesforce.com, so they simply appended apex hash again hello world. Okay. So this is some simple VF example with a simple class. So here they are not only using the page, they are creating a simple controller. What is a controller? Controller is the backend supporting Apex class for this VF page. Because here we are not linking we are not linking to any database. We are simply showing some static information and some global variables. I can even print the user current login username, first name and last name like this, but I cannot print the data of account, all this stuff. But here is in the example what here it's shown, right? They are simply bringing up the data of some text what they are entering here. They are copying the text here and they are appending it and they are writing the same text on the screen. I want to show this example to you. I'm clicking on save. See what happens here. See, I got a simple error saying that there is no controller called hello. Okay. Common button. I think I haven't copied the code properly. Give me a second because this is a problem here. There won't be any. No, this works fine. I think so. Yeah. So this is the correct code. Actually, there is a mistake in this sheet which I have shown. Okay. When I'm clicking on save, it's not saved and it's showing some simple error saying, hey, there is no class called hello in my system. So here it's asking to create two type of options to give. Create Apex class with public class bookname.hello or public with sharing class bookname.hello. This is some simple sharing option changes. Okay. If you are going with sharing, all the sharing rules will apply on your current class and you can only access the data what the current user have access to. If you are not sharing with sharing keyword, you can access all the data in the system. Okay, I'm just simply clicking on the second option. Okay, see, again after clicking on this, there is no variable. See, if I'm going to here, it's simply a class name. But here there is no variable called the text which I am accessing in the page. If you come here, the text is the value, is the variable should be available in the hello class. It's not available, that's the reason it's asking me to create. I'm clicking on create that. It's asking me to create a method also for accessing. See, here there's action method called action. I got 3 messages. First message is to create the class. Second message is to create the variable which is represented here. The third link to create the action, means a method inside the hello world, hello Apex class. So I will talk about this in detail in the coming classes. Okay. So here is the these methods are automatically created by the Salesforce without any internal data like any parameters changes. Okay. They're not passing any parameters or they are not doing any actions or logic here. But I want to copy the code which is here. Okay. I want to copy the code which is here. Sure. Yeah. Now I got the code here for the action method. Means here, what all the string what I'm accepting from here, and if I'm clicking on globe, this is appending it's summing up and showing information on the same page. Clicking on save. Now this VF page will work for us. I'm giving some simple information that is hello. I'm clicking on go. See what happened here. It's appended the same text 2 times because the logic what I'm doing here is the input text, what all you're entering in this text box will be copy down to the text variable. If I'm clicking on go button, okay, the action method is here. If I'm clicking on this go button, I'm calling this method. See, I'm calling this method and I'm passing the text value. Text plus text equal to the text. Hello plus hello. It will be copied down to the text. And finally, I'm going to print the same information on the page. But before that, for the strings to be accessible on the VF page, you should have a getter and setter methods. This is the simple line to add the getter and setter methods for the text variable, that is string variable. So all the syntax will look similarly like Java, but I should not explain this before explaining about the keywords and all this stuff. But I just show you a simple example. Right. Okay. So I'm searching for Venkat. I'm clicking on Go. It works by appending it. And finally, this is a dynamic ID. Okay. This component is having dynamic ID, and I'm going to refresh this dynamic ID on click of this button. So this is representing the new data. This will show the new data. This is simply the output panel to show the result on the page. Okay, that's what. Okay, I just want to again sort the other tags. So let's come back to the view of page tags. Okay. After explaining these tags, I can show some examples to you, and later on I can start with Apex and triggers and stuff. So these are the main core tags available in Salesforce. The Visualforce programming. One is the main tag, that is Apex page. This is the starting and ending tag inside your page. So you should not write any code about that or after that. Okay. And this is the open tag, and the end tag is you can simply add the hash symbol before Apex. / okay. And include script is something like in your HTML page you generally use script tag, right? That's for introducing adding some script into your current page. You can add .js files like jQuery or jQuery mobile, any type of files, any JavaScript library file with this tag. Okay, and this tag action style sheet. So for any HTML page, you can include JavaScript. You can even include CSS also. Same way, Apex style sheet is useful for inserting a style sheet. So this file is ended with .css. So JavaScript files will end with .js. Style sheet files will end with .css. So this is even though every HTML programmer has to know this. That's the basic. Okay. And you can include the script with include script. Include style sheet with the. You can include style sheets into the Salesforce VF page. Into this. Okay. You have to write all these include scripts inside the Apex page tag. And for suppose some people will build some templates for header and footer. If you are following some company branding, if your company brand is around red color, if you're taking Coca-Cola, you can see their website even in red color, and every app what they're developing in red colors. Means if you're going in that styling, you generally prepare templates for footer, header, and any widgets. Okay. So for creating this type of components, you can use the template system, and Apex insert tag is useful for it declares the name area that must be defined somewhere else. Okay, and you can insert this into any page. First you define some component, and you can insert this composition with this apex insert tag. And this is for defining the template. Okay, apex composition tag is for defining the template. So once you develop this template, you can use it in a number of VF pages. You don't need to rewrite the core complete complete call reporting, all this stuff. And apex define tag is for provides contents for inserting into the VF page. Okay. and Salesforce support Ajax and JavaScript page functionality in VF pages because it's really important these days to automatically refresh or to automatically do some actions. Okay, so you know Ajax, right? So asynchronous JavaScript, right? So so for suppose the example of this is if you want to automatically refresh some particular area to refresh the scores of the match. In that case, you can use this type of Ajax functionality same way. So Salesforce will support both these things with these following 5 tags. Apex action function tag is useful for defining a function and calling that function from with this from this action function you can call any apex method. Okay, so for suppose if you want to call some function on key up, you can use this action function. So when you are filling some data into the form, if you have entered some data into city value, the state value is automatically refreshing, right? And it's showing the new data of the states belongs to that country, right? In that cases, we are going to use the Ajax similar kind of functionality there. Okay, so the function is defined in this action function. Okay, this is useful for that. And the action poller is a simple timer that sends request after some interval of time to some apex method, and it gets the data from that database and it shows the information on the screen. So this is a simple timer you can set here. You can frequently refresh the data after 10 seconds or 5 seconds. Okay, you can generally count the time interval in the milliseconds, like 1000 milliseconds equal to 1 second. Okay, action region tag is used for defining some area in a page that will be refreshed or that will be rendered automatically. Okay, on Ajax request or on Ajax update. Okay, so and action status is useful for showing the status. For suppose when you are clicking on any button, it generally takes some time in some milliseconds to get the data from the database. In this time, right, it will generally show the status saying loading. This type of information can be shown with this action status or some symbol which is or some image which shows the GIF image which shows that the data is loading from the system. Okay, action support. This adds the asynchronous refresh support to any component. Okay, so asynchronously the component will be refreshed automatically. Okay, at some interval of time. That can also be set here. Each and every tag will have some parameters where you can use some actions or names of the name of the function, action, which method it can call in the Apex class, and also some parameters on the time intervals, and it depends on the functionality of the tag. Okay, I can show these examples when I'm explaining examples. Okay, so the better way to understand these tags also here in the VF page, there is a simple link called component reference. If I'm clicking on this component reference, I got the very detailed information about all the tags. Or suppose this is the component reference. I'm clicking on action function tag here. If I'm clicking on this tag, I can see this is the simple description about the action function tag till here, and some information about the attributes, means attributes which this action function can accept. See the action attribute, focus attribute, ID attribute, name attribute. So there is a simple description next to this also. The action name what you are giving inside this attribute is useful to call some method in the Apex class. Okay, and same way, the name what you're giving in this attribute name is useful for naming this Apex. Sorry, the VF page. Okay, these are all different attributes for showing the status, for showing the timeout time, milliseconds, and re-render what component should be rendered, re-render which IDs, okay, which components, on complete what action I have to do. All this information, all these things can be done with these attributes. Okay, let's open some other tag that is Apex input tag. Okay, you generally use this tag a lot because this is useful for taking input from the customer, input text. Okay, because in the previous example also we have used the same thing, Apex input text. Apex input is useful for um, this is a form field which takes the standard properties of the field name. If you are giving some field name here, okay, it's like Apex input. Give me a second. Okay. Size, title, type, value. Inside the value, if you are giving some text field, variable name, or any field name of any object, it automatically takes the properties of that and it shows that automatically. If there is a tick list value, it looks like a tick list value. If there is a text value, it looks like a text value. Okay. Yeah, and okay, okay. Yeah. Uh, so yeah, let's go back to previous page. And so after these action functions, I would like to tell about the core forms of um, VF pages. Okay. Okay. So these are the core forms. So you might be knowing the form tags even in HTML or even in Java also, right? So, but here if you see, almost they look very similar, but there is a simple Apex colon appended before the tag. Okay. So now let's start with the Apex colon form tag. So this is the container for all the input tags. You cannot view the input tag without this form tag. You can only give the below tags only if you have started with Apex form tag. Even though, let's go back to the previous example what we have done in the Apex page editor. See, why I am using form tag here is we are taking input from the user and we are even clicking on a button. These two are form tags. That's the reason I am using the form tag before that, and I have added the end tag of form tag after all the input tags. Okay. Now let's start with the form tags. Apex colon command button is useful to add the button to the page. Okay. On click of this button, you can save the data in the form to the database. Okay. And Coming to the apex colon command link, okay. So this is button. This both are really similar. Button looks like a button. Link, it looks like a simple link with underlined. If we are taking the cursor on top of that apex column link, command link, it will be automatically available for clicking it. Okay. So this is like a link tag. Okay, a tag in HTML, hyperlink tag in HTML, and apex colon input. This is HTML5 friendly general purpose input tag. So which is automatically take the properties of the field what you are mapping in the value attribute. Okay, I can show the options when you're working on the pages. Okay, and the input checkbox is useful to add the checkbox, a form tag. Okay, to add the form element, checkbox element into the form. So for males or for male, female, gender type of options, you can use these checkboxes or active, inactive checkboxes like this. And input field, this are so this input tag, okay, will generally is of the standard or custom object. So if you are defining, so for suppose if you are using country field, you don't need to write select options, select option type. There are 50 values inside the country pick list value. Generally, if you take any Java or any HTML thing, you have to write 70 lines of code or 65 lines of code for the 60 value country tag for the country field. But here, when you are defining the pick list value inside the database with all the values, if we are mentioning apex colon input field value equal to country underscore underscore C, it automatically gets all the properties of the field what you have defined in the backend in the schema builder, and it shows all the country values here with a simple line. You don't need to write every country name there, and you don't need to write select options type of thing. But if you want to write some custom pick list values, you have to use the select options again the same way how we are using in Java. Okay. And if the field type is checkbox, it automatically looks like checkbox. If the field type is a multipick list value, it looks like a multipick list value. It depends based on the standard properties of the field what you are mapping here. Okay. And apex input file is for uploading some files to your form or into the database. Okay. So whenever you are trying to upload resumes or attachments, you can use this tag, apex input file tag, and apex input file is for uploading the file. Apex input hidden is useful for hiding the file. So for suppose if you don't want to show some fields into the on the page on the form tag, but it is automatically value is copied. For suppose if you want to copy the IP address of the user who is currently using your form, you can use this type of input fields, and you can automatically copy the value into this with JavaScript, finding the IP address of the system who is accessing your VF page. That type of requirements, you can use this input hidden tag. Okay. And input secret tag is useful for passwords. Okay. And some SSN numbers like this. Okay. Input text is used for accepting the simple text. In the current scenario, in the previous scenario, when we are accepting in this, I'm using apex input text because it's simply a text value. I don't have any field properties for this. The text is defined in the apex class. I want to show the text form here to accept some values, string values, and copy that value into the text. For this, I simply use the input text. Input text area is for large text areas, and select list is for showing the radio button select options, multiple choice options, that type of options. So So this input checkbox is it's a single checkbox which tells you whether the record is active or not, like this. If a simple flag, okay. Select radio is for setting the related radio buttons. For suppose in terms of male and female, if you are selecting a male option, you have to automatically uncheck the female option, right? So that's something like you can only select one option out of four options or two options or three options to select radio. Okay. In the select list, you can select multiple options. Okay. In the select options, yeah. This tag is useful for adding custom values to the checklist value. Okay, this can be used in terms of checklist values or checkboxes, all this stuff. Okay. For adding simply the values inside the checkboxes. Okay. And select checkboxes is a set of input checkboxes displayed on the table. Okay. Select options. Yeah, this is for checklist values. You can use it for even for a list of generally this is a collection of checkboxes, select radio, select list components. Okay, you can these are mainly useful for adding custom checklist values on the page. Yeah, these are the core form tags, and we will be using a lot of these form tags in our way of programming. Okay, so we use mostly the input field, input text type of fields, and even these options also. And core output components. So these are input components. Output components are useful to show the information on the page. So you are generally takes data from the user. After taking data, when you are clicking on save, you have to show some saved information on the page. For that, you have to use output fields, output tags. Okay, that output field tag is again the read-only display tag, which shows automatically the properties, okay, of the field what you're using here, what you're using in the value attribute here. Output label, it's simply a label, static label. You can, if you're mentioning congratulations, it shows the congratulations message for all the users. So this is dynamic, it shows the dynamic data from the database. This is the static data which is shown like section name or label with some application name like that. You can show that here. Output link is something like you can pass some URLs here. If someone clicks on this output link and value, it automatically takes to the new page. Okay. Output panel. Okay. So generally, if you want to group some content, I can use output panel, and I can show the content in that output panel. You can even use this output panel inside Apex page block section, so that the complete section is completely grouped and separated from other components. Okay, this is for grouping. So generally in HTML you use div tags and span tags for grouping some content. Okay. So each and every tag what you are seeing here, there is a similar tag in HTML also. And Apex output tag is useful for displaying the text values on the page. I think in the current scenario we have used output tag, it's output text tag. See, no, we have not used output text. Simply we are simply displaying this. But I can also use Apex output text, and I can pass this variable as value to the to this output text at tag, so that it will display the content on the page. Okay. And after finishing the output tags, and we do have tags for showing the data in terms of table format, grid format, okay, column format. Okay. So Apex data table is simply Apex HTML table. So it's very similar to that, but Apex column is a single column in a table. When you are defining data table, inside the data table there can be 4 columns or 6 columns, 10 columns. You have to define the columns with this column tag. That's the definition of column name and values inside that. Okay. Apex data list is like ordered or unordered list of values. It shows, for suppose if you want to display 20 contacts on the page, you can use the data table, and you can use column with column names and repeat the data list. Okay. And case set is a placeholder for content that is rendered to the parent component. Okay, which is specific to the parent component. So when you are building some scenarios like a widget type of application, if you are having four-step application, first step, second step, third step, in that cases you can use them. Face it. Okay. So it generally shows single placeholder for content. Okay. So in this case, you generally use this facet variable. I have a demo for this. I have some example for this in my organization, which I'm going to share with you. And panel grid is for displaying the elements in terms of the format in ordered way, okay, in consecutive cells, 1, 2, 3, 4, like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 type of record. Because you can even adjust the number of columns also. If there are 3 columns, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like that you can place. Panel group is like you can group 2 or more cells into one group. Okay. Okay. So grouping cells, panel cells. And there are some miscellaneous HTML tags also, miscellaneous tags which are supported by Apex also. Apex flash, flash, which is useful for inserting the flash assets on the HTML file. So in the old, in the olden days, people used to have the flash type of animations on the, and they will generally add this flash in the web pages to show some animations and ads, right? If you want to insert the type of old flash content, you can use this flash tag. iframe tag is useful for inserting iframe into the current page. A simple form of other website like this, you can insert that. And Apex image tag useful for inserting the graphical image into the page. We use this a lot, Apex image tag, but it's a miscellaneous tag. It's similar to the img tag in HTML. If you don't have really good idea about HTML, so please refer wtschools.com and you can try the course for a day. So you will be having good idea after finishing that course, and you can also understand this tags very easily after following that HTML course. And after finishing that, so there are some more miscellaneous VF tags. So Apex repeat, for suppose it's for repeating some content. If there are 40 records will be repeated, and it will display in ordered way on the page. That type of requirements can be with the repeat tag. Okay, and message tag is for displaying the message. Messages tag is for displaying all messages at one place. Message tag, you can simply display one message with a specific error. Okay, so you generally put down some simple ID for this message, and I can refresh this particular message tag whenever you're clicking on action buttons. If there is any error, it simply shows the information on the Apex message tag. If you want to display all messages at once, you can use the second tag. It shows all warnings messages on the current page in this location. But whenever you click on action buttons, you have to call this, you have to render these sections. And Apex include tag is useful for inserting a VF page into another VF page. Apex parameter tag is useful for passing parameters to the other components to feed some IDs or content to that values to that components. S control tag is useful for inserting the S control into the VF page, okay, inline, the inline frame. And Apex variables, so you can configure some Apex local variables and you can pass it, okay. And so for the look and feel, Salesforce have special tags. So with these special tags, you can easily develop some good components. So the same thing if you want to build in HTML, it will take a lot of time. But with these tags, this will generally reduce the effort of the developer to build some advanced pages and views. Okay. Apex detail tag is useful for showing the standard detail page of a particular object. See, I want to show some simple example to you about this tag. This tag is really simple, but it's more powerful. See, I'm clicking on accounts. I'm clicking on, this is ID, right? So I need the ID for this, okay? Apex has customer page, okay? And I'm clicking on question mark. I'm passing parameter ID equal to, okay? I'm clicking on enter. What I'm doing is here, I'm creating a page and I'm passing some parameters. So first of all, I have to create this page. So I'm not passing any parameters now, simply I'm clicking on this page. So now I'm making this page as a standard controller for account object. I'm clicking on save. Now this is C. And I'm clicking on account object, it automatically points to the customer object. I already said you, I have renamed the accounts to customers in this tab. Just to simply renamed the label. Okay. See, earlier, this my page is pointing to the home tag. It's not. See, let's remove this and try what happens. See, automatically point to the home tab. Then mapping the channel controller lead, it automatically get the properties of the lead object, the tab style and the tab pointing, all these things to this. So I'm pointing to account, it will point to the account. Okay. Now I want to show the Apex detail page option. Apex colon B. So this it will automatically recommend you to add the tags. There's no need to write all the tags. Simply select this. Here is the detail page, and I'm clicking on save. I don't have any error message here, but if I pass some parameters, question ID equal to this. I got all the information from the account object represented with this ID. Now I have developed this complete page with a single line of code here. See, congratulations, this is your page name, customer page is here. Okay. And this simple line added automatically the complete content here. Okay. So here I want to show something. This is all components which is automatically added with this detail page. If I want to disable the child objects means the related list items of this current object, okay, equal to false. I'm clicking on save. Now I can see the changes very immediately. See, now I can see the only the content of the account object. There's no child object records here. Okay. See, the simple change is, see, the simple attribute data list equal to false is changing a lot. So there are a lot of attributes in the same way. See. And first of all, what I can do is show charter equal to true. Click on save. See. Now I have charter also. Earlier I don't see this charter option here. Now I can use charter for the current object. I can follow this current object like this. Earlier I don't have this option, right? You got it? So every attribute is having a lot of value, and so you need to learn about each and every attribute. So this is a very basic tag. Inside that there's a lot of attributes. Same way there are hundreds of tags. You have to learn the attributes and their benefits, and it takes a lot of time, but you have to practice a lot. Okay, what is the use of each attribute and which tag you have to use in which requirement? You have to figure out on all this stuff. Oh, sure. Thanks, Rahul. Oh, thanks for creating. Okay. Yeah, I can show you the user creation now for this user, and I can get a license for you also. Going to the setup. So I'm going to the users, clicking on users. I'm creating new user. Yeah. Now with this username and password, anyone can log into the Gmail address if you want to have the security token of this organization. Okay. Now what I can say is use under the training dot cerebral one rate of. So I generally load a lot of other examples also which I have it to the system. You can load it from here. A license I have available is okay. See here, if you see, I don't have Salesforce licenses available here because I have used all the 20 licenses to other people. I want to remove one other. First of all, let's store this thing with some. There are a lot of roles. Licenses I am showing you a Salesforce platform. I'm clicking on. So I will. I'm clicking on save. What I will do is I will deactivate one other user who is a old student. See, I'm deactivating this guy. Click on. Again, clicking on edit. Clicking on OK. Clicking on save. Now if you come here, if you click on edit, now I do have option of one more license because I have deactivated that user license. See, now I have this. Earlier I don't have this. And I'm selecting. I'm clicking on save. Yeah, I'm using system administrator. Okay. I'm clicking on save. Why I'm getting this? Oh, see, this is not removed because of some. Else I can do one thing. I can rename the repair rename. I can even rename this also. Yeah, I'm clicking on I'm clicking on save. Okay. Clicking on save because the reason why it's not allowing me to deactivate this because there is a workflow rule which is assigned to this lady. Okay. What happened whenever some record is triggered, I am assigning some task to this lady, it seems. That is the reason it's not allowing me to deactivate. Before deactivating any user, you have to make sure that whether this lady, whether this user is using in any of the workflow rules or approval process, whether anyone is sharing some records to this lady or not. Okay, you have to check all this. Okay, I'm clicking on OK now. I'm not getting new user. I'm modifying the current user. It's already there. I'm giving it as cerebral batch 1. Okay. Running or cerebral batch 1 is the username. Remember, the username what you have gave Rahul is not available. Someone has taken that. Yeah. Now what I will do, I will go back to it's here. I'm clicking on this. I'm clicking on reset password because there is no password change for happen for this. I'm clicking on that. Oh. Hey, can someone go to the Gmail application, click on this accept button? Okay. Huh? Yeah, I'll second log into the application now. From this, I'm clicking on add account. So I'm clicking on add account. Planning dot one at gmail.com, and the password is
I just verified.
yeah, thanks. Okay, no thanks. I even want to show the other people also. Okay. Yeah, you get a simple mail when I'm changing the username. Sorry, when I'm changing the email address, I simply get a verification to accept that. I think Rahul has done that. Now let's go back to so this is the mail from them. You have to click on this link to activate it. So after that, I want to reset the password. What happened that is in the previous scenario when I'm clicking on reset password, it went to the Ramya's email. Okay, I'm clicking on OK now. Now it went to the training.cerebral1@gmail.com. Okay, it's going. Let's go back to the Firefox again and check the email confirmation from Salesforce saying that the password is this. Okay, so Rahul, you can set the temporary password like Cerebral1 or the same password for this also. They have sent the temporary password also. Okay, click on this. I'm setting it, no problem. Yeah, I got the token to this account. As I'm logging in for the first time, I have to put on the token and copying, clicking on finish. Now I can set the password now. I'm it as Cerebral1. Yeah, I'm saying it. So now you have the username is training. Yeah, these are a lot of issues. Okay, that this user license is used for many days. All the cases are assigned to you. Batch 1. Okay, this is the username. and the password is same, cerebral one. And yeah, um, now if you log into this application, so one thing I can say is go to the charter application first. Okay, and you can see a lot of content here. So there are separate groups for, if you click on groups, um, to you can click on hide documents. So there's a lot of groups here. There's a lot of content also. See the assignments and the Apex VF cheat sheets, guides, training documents, and all this stuff. All the examples, all this stuff is here. You can access all these files from this screen. Okay. Okay. Um, there are a lot of examples in this PDF, big PDF file, and you can see a lot of other content also. If you click on files, all files, it is the assignments and some VF guides, a lot of modules. Okay, and cheat sheets for analytics API, VF pages, formula fields. Um, for suppose some people have issues in writing formulas, just open this, the formula cheat sheet. So with this, you can have very clear understanding about all the text operations, date and time functions available in formula fields, and even there are a lot of text functions also begins with hyperlink functions. These are all formula field things. I haven't explained you in detail, okay, all these functions, right? But you can refer this document. It's already shared in the system. Okay, I've showed you very basic options. Okay, in the current the previous class. Okay, and um, so means I'm just showing these options to you to download the files available for you. Okay, that's it. And even some cheat sheets also. Okay, cool. Yeah. Let's go back to our screen. Okay. So we are at look and feel tags. Okay. The look and feel tag, Apex is the first tag which we covered with, and same way you can even have enhanced list view of list view for every object. This is enhanced list. Okay. And list of records, you can see here list views. You can create custom list views with this Apex colon list views option. List views, I said you, list views means um, give me a second. Yeah. Yeah, let's come to look and feel tags. Okay, the list views means right. So you have created some simple list views on volunteer object to show the things on the tab. You can create the similar type of list views with this tag. What is a let list tag? Means in the previous example, in the detail page, I have disabled the let list items, the child object records, right? So that we can do with this operation. We can have the let list items enabled with this independently with this let list tag. And page block is useful for showing some page block, some visual block on the page to show some content about any object like this. Page block buttons and section are having some standard UI by Salesforce. You don't need to write any colors for them. It automatically picks colors from the properties of the object what you're using. Page block section. Inside the page block, you can group some content based on the sections. That's what you can do. Page block section item is a single element like a field inside the section. Okay. So this is the parent tag. Page block buttons is the tag available inside page block. Page block section is inside page block. Page block section item is inside page block section. Got it? This is the parent tag. The next parent tag is section. Next is section item, like this. Inside page block, you can also put page block table to show the content in the format of list of contacts, list of accounts, like this. It will display the list of current object records in a table format, in a tabular format. And the apex message is useful for showing the messages on the custom messages on the screen. This is for all messages. This is for one message. And panel bar. Actually, this page. This panel bar area includes one or more panel bar items. Okay. So you can expand and collapse these sections, expandable and collapsible sections with these panel bar items. Okay. Inside this panel bar, you can have a number of panel bar items which can be expandable and collapsible. Okay. And I can show these examples. So even you can even try the examples what the Salesforce have given. For suppose go to the previous VF page, what we have opened. See, for suppose if you go to the panel bar, see, here if you click on this is the component details, and if you click on uses, you will have the simple example. So this is the panel bar with 3 items. Okay, you can copy this example and you can paste on in the new VF page what you have created, so that it will show the actual result, and you can see the direct example. Okay. And apex tab is for, I have already showed you this. Tab panel is the parent tag. Tab is the tail tab of tab panel. Okay. So this represents the tab, represents the tab name and the value of the sub tabs available in the inside tab panel component. And toolbar. So this toolbar, so you can have a number of child components inside the toolbar. Toolbar group, you can group the components within a toolbar. Okay. You can group small groups. You can make it with the toolbar group. Okay. And you can also build custom components which can be reusable inside the inside your system. For suppose you want to create some header which automatically have a welcome message of any user and the current last login date and time and the profile information of the user. That component, you generally build some component for that, and you can reuse the same component in all the pages. It's similarly like reducing the number of lines of code by reusing the same code. Okay. It also, it looks very similar to the templates thing. Okay. But you can build components with the apex colon component component tag. and you can pass attributes with this attribute tag. The same tag I think you have even discussed in the previous. I think that's the parameter tag. This is the attribute tag. You can pass the attributes to the components. Here the parameter tag is useful for passing again to the components also. Okay, in the same way. The component body will be defined inside the component body tag. This is a simple placeholder. And there are other tags for integrating with the Google Analytics API and site preview as admin. Okay. So if you want to view this current page as admin, you can simply insert this tag there and it automatically shows some link for you. If you click on this button, you can show the page as admin, look as admin. And messaging. So these are messaging tags which are useful in building the VF email templates. So when we are creating email templates, there are 4 options. One is text template. Second is HTML with letterhead. Letterhead we have to define first, and we have to use the same letterhead. This is very easy. Second option is very easy, and then you can build beautiful templates with different colors and CSS. And third thing is HTML template without letterhead. The fourth thing is VF template. We can develop email templates with VF language also with this following tags. Okay, and ideas. So I said you about ideas. So this is a part of community. Okay, so generally Salesforce. So you know Salesforce is releasing new features every quarter, right? They release new features every quarter. These features are generally taken. Ideas taken from the customers. For suppose if I am the customer of Salesforce or an employee of Salesforce or an implementation partner of Salesforce, if I am giving some idea, employees, customers, users of the system can rate that idea. That ideas can be, the top voted ideas can be implemented in the coming releases. That's what they do, and the features are. So they generally take the inputs of the customer and they build ideas on that. Okay, they build products on that. Same way, Salesforce encourages all the customers to use ideas. So this is some ideas tag to show the detailed page, output page, to show the list of data, to show the list of ideas. Okay, and to show the user profile. Okay. To show the user profile who is linked with the ideas, all this stuff, and the total number of ideas that user has given, that type of options you can view with this tags. And same way, the knowledge tags useful for managing the knowledge application, to upload articles, to create, to show list of articles, to show the category list. All these options are there based on the category. These are the knowledge tags. So, and charter tags. If you want to display the charter feed on your Apex page, you can simply use charter feed. This will currently show you the charter feed of the current logged in user. Okay, same way charter feed with followers. And if you want to add the charter follow button, simply use charter :follow. Whenever the user is clicking on this button, the current user who is logged in into the user system will be following the record where you have added this charter follow button. Charter followers button tag will show you the list of followers of the record. If you click on this button, means on the view page where this tag is there, this will show the list of charter followers for the current record or the current object. Okay. And workflow rules, you can embed a flow into you can embed any workflow rule, workflow process into any page. And after that, I can see the global variables. What are global variables? So I said to you when I showed the first page to you, inside that I have showed some simple message saying congratulations Venkat, Gattamani, right? This Venkat and Gattamani is the dynamic values coming from the global variable. So user object is a global variable, right? See, another user. So if you put $user dot first name, it will display the first name of the logged in user. Same way, I can access the following information. I can use actions. I can use API. Okay. I can refer to any API. I can use the components. Okay. I can use the current page parameters. For example, if you want to know the current page URL and parameters, I can use the $current page dot name parameters like this. I can even access labels with $label. I can even access the metadata data of objects with metadata like object type. And if you want to know the organization ID, if you want to display the organization name on my VF page, simply use organization dot name, which displays the name of your organization. $page will automatically give a lot of page values like this, the current page and the next page like this. And $resource is useful for inserting the static resources into the VF pages. What are static resources? Static resources are assets you want to add to the page. Okay, you want to add to the page. For example, if you want to add the company logo to the page, you have to upload the logo into the static resources first, and later on you have to use the static resource by including with this resource tag, resource global variable. And setup. The setup option is useful for referencing the hierarchical custom setting values. Okay, and $site reference the site information. The site information of the current domain. Okay. We generally use a very less user role profile, $page, $organization type of global variables only. Okay. And coming down to the static resources, here is how we generally use static resources. I said .resource. This is how you use. So whenever you upload some folder with images, inside that there is a blue.jpg file. You are uploading the text zip in the format of text.zip, text zip. You can reference the zip file like this. Inside that, if there is a folder name called images, you have to reference like this. So that means I can show this example when I'm working with VF pages. So the meaning of this is I want the image stored in static resources with the zip file name of text zip, and inside that there is a subfolder that is images. Inside images there is a blue.jpg. I am referencing this file name and I am displaying on my current VF page. Okay, this is the meaning of this current line. And same way I can use the JavaScripts also. I can upload in static resources and I can insert it into the page from the static resource like this with the include script tag. And Apex support. So generally VF needs Apex support. If you are using a standard controller, then there is no need of using Apex. But if you want to build very custom requirements, then you are going to use the Apex custom controller classes. Okay, controller Apex class. So these are the attributes are like available for linking VF page to the Apex. Action is very useful, means every time you use this action attribute to link the VF page tag to the Apex method. And message tag is useful for getting message from the Apex to the VF page. Page reference is useful for referencing the current VF page inside the Apex class. Select options, this generally invokes the values added to the possible values for select checkboxes, select list, which are defined inside the Apex. Okay, and so this select option is useful in the page. Okay, standard controller is useful for referencing to the standard controller, that is the account or lead or any standard controller, or even for suppose if you want to use custom object there, standard controller equal to vendors underscore C will automatically link to the standard controller of vendor object. Okay, and standard set controller is useful for setting for getting the values of a list of values from the standard object. It refers the set of controllers for iteration. Okay, set controller is useful for getting the multiple means the records of account object or like any object. Okay, you get this. So with this we are done with the tags available with VF pages. These are the complete tags. So these are additional tags: ideas, knowledge, charter, messaging. These are additional tags. We generally use a lot of the form tags, UI tag, default look and feel tags, and the miscellaneous Visualforce tags, and action function tags. Okay, these tags are used aggressively inside our application. Okay. Let's meet in the other class. So I want to close the class for today. Okay. If you guys have any questions, let's ask now. So means when I'm working on these VF pages, it looks very difficult for you to understand these things. But if you don't have any software, IT experience before, I really want you guys to go to the 3course.com and refer HTML course, because the VF programming will look very 90% very close to the HTML programming with CSS, with JavaScript. Okay, these three things you need to be very familiar. So if you know about this, because these three things are very basic concepts for any IT programmer, right? I know some people are coming from the ECE background or any other backgrounds. Okay, so they need a little more time to understand to understand about HTML and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I can share you the recordings of this class. Even so, if you have time, you can explore the charter of my enterprise organization, where I share a lot of content. You can log into the Q&A group where some people are asking some questions, and we can have answers for the same. Okay. And there's a certification group also, Forge Your Own certification group, where you can download the some dumps or questions, sample questions from that charter. Okay. Charter files. Okay. Yeah, that's it, guys. I'm closing the class for today. So feel free to ask any questions. I will be waiting for some more time. So I'm going to send out a single mail on the user credentials to all the people. Okay, if some people have